Yeah. Wait. Dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. You know what? The come on down is a very exuberant come on down because I'm Tunde Ajyai today. We done it again. We done it again, Tunde. We done it again. The black book is too powerful. This time it's not my black book. It's Tunde Ajyai's black book because he's got a long time personal relationship with BILL Haney, the father of Devin Haney, the WBC Lightweight champion of the whole wide world.
Real one. The real one as well. The real one. Not this franchise nonsense. The real champ.
Right. So it's all good. And you know it, we got to bring in the guy with the plan. And you know what? We have to big up BILL Haney because he's done what he's done and he's done it by himself, bro.
Yes. And let me just say, this is a man that everyone needs to take a leaf out of his book, you know, and learn from this genius of boxing, because he's one of the few geniuses, in my opinion, in boxing, you know, done it their own way, an independent way, where the fighter is treated fairly and is treated based on the market value and what he deserves, and he should get what he deserves. And you know, every time I listen to BILL, I learned something new about the sport. And you know, we have to remember that BILL's coming from a music background, so the way that he's navigated Dev, I mean, there's so much to talk about. But without further ado, let me introduce to you the one, the only, my brother, my man. The teeth are shining, the house is shining, everything's shining. The one and only Mr. BILL Haney.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the warm, you know what, the great introduction, brother. I appreciate you guys. I've been waiting to get with you. I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing. Of course, you know, Spencer, you've been talking about him for years. 9 years ago, you told me that this was the man that I need to talk to, that our thought patterns were similar. So I'm a big fan of what you guys have been doing in the sport and how you guys are elevating, you know. So, you know, shout out to you guys as well, man.
Well, it looked like Devin's looking after the father well, man. Yeah, everything. But listen, a lot of people don't know our history because, you know, when you came over to London in 2012, you know, Dev was so young at the age, and I was thinking about this today. I remember you tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "You ever seen a 13-year-old kid do what this kid is doing?" Because Spencer, we put him in a ring with a fighter called Daniel, and I was so angry because I was like, "How you making this young boy bust you up?" You understand? Dev was putting beatings on older guys from the age of 13, you know, and we were so happy when, you know, BILL invited myself, Anthony Yard, O'Hara, you know, back to the mansion. And, you know, for fighters like Anthony and O'Hara and myself, traders like myself, to see what was possible, even at that stage, was a great thing for us. And I'm forever humble and grateful for having you in my life and being able to pick up the phone and speak to you, brother.
Hey, that you broadened our whole horizon when we were able to meet you in 2012. You broadened our game because you had the exact same training style as Roger Mayweather, right? You remember?
Yeah.
And I said,
yes, sir.
Worked for, I think we stayed in London for 30 days, I believe, and we worked with you every day and developed on, man, that's life lasting. I would have liked to. I never got a chance. You always told me you were going to take me to the neighborhood, and we never did get a chance to make it to the neighborhood. So you owe me that. I need to come to the hood, and I want to get some good eating around there. And like I said,
BILL, forget about that, BILL. Tunde don't live in the hood no more. Tunde sold out.
Hey, listen. Told me about you, Spencer, a long time ago. Like he said, like 9 years ago, he says, man, you got to meet Spencer, man. This guy, you guys think on the same pages, man, on the same page. And like I said, I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing and the heights that you've risen to, you know, and you know, I'm doing the same thing over here. So it's a lifelong bond between us all.
Come on,
Before
man.
we get into the,
you're doing your smashing and grabbing it, man. And so, for those kind of things, we've got to say salute to you too. Yeah, I mean,
before we get into the, you know, the nuts and bolts of this whole conversation, I just wanna. There's two things I just remember so vividly. The first one was when we was in the van and you was like, yeah, we're going over to 50's gym now, and we was waiting for Anthony Yard, and you was like, Tune, I'm telling you, man, these cats don't wait for people, man. And
Right.
Anthony was with Floyd Mayweather Senior rapping,
Yes.
and we were so mad that Anthony was holding us up.
Right.
And then when we was in the car, I remember when we was in the van, I remember I was there, and you know, I'm always like this thinking, and I remember you saying to me, I know what you're thinking, Tune. And I was like, what? And you was like, you thinking how these motherfuckers be getting all this money. And I was like, bro, listen, man. We need to get some of this money what these guys are getting, man. But and I'm so happy that you are where you are. You've managed to, you know, do what you've done with Dev, man.
Right. But you know the thing that I have a big respect for you, and I reached out when I heard the talks about you and Anthony, and you know the media wanting to get in it and kind of, you know, separate you guys. But what stood out with me most was that when Anthony came, when Anthony also R2 and O'Hara, both of O'Hara and Arturo were the standouts. They had all the talent in the world. They also had experience, amateur experience. And Anthony, who was built like a football player, you know what I mean? And he didn't have as much talent as those guys, but you believed in him. And to see him go to the heights that he risen to become a millionaire in the sport, I take my hat off to you, because I know that without your belief in him, that wouldn't have been possible, because you were the only one that believed that he could have gotten to there. And you stayed down with him. Even when O'Hara went away, went another way, you stayed focused. You know, you kept that positive attitude. Arturo suffered, you know, the brain the brain scan, something on the brain or whatever, which was hard for both, you know, me and Devin, and I'm sure it was with you. But to stay down with Anthony, man, I mean, like I say, I take off my hat to you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, bro. I really appreciate that. But let's get busy, Spence. I'm gonna let you start, Spence. But you know, there's so much to cover in terms of the coaching, the management, the mandatories, the businesses. Bro, let me just tell people, Devin Haney is not only got Devin Haney Promotions, he's got real estate, he's got the H Group Investment, he's got Dream World Transportation. He's got the CDB oil. Devin's got everything. And I put this all down to you and the fact that you have guided your son in such a, not only because there's a lot of good fighters, but a lot of fighters end up broke, no direction, and the way you've navigated Devin into a young businessman. Even when I watched the interview with Devin, and I couldn't believe I was listening to this same young man that I met in London in 2012. He just seems on a totally different level to all of these fighters because he understands the business aspect of the sport, which is one of the fundamental things, or the most fundamental things fighters of today don't understand. They don't understand that they have to do their due diligence of the sport, understand that they are not just pieces of meat. And the way it's going to be hard for people to understand them because so many fighters don't understand anything Devin understands.
Absolutely. Thank you. My whole theory of going into that was that I know that any person, including myself, when working for someone else, you might give 50%, but when you work for yourself, you'll give it 110. Devin's company, he's the youngest promoter in boxing, right? He promotes himself, right? Signed to himself, and all the money goes to him, and he pays everyone else. So with that, I knew that that would be enough motivation to keep him inspired, right? To not veer because of anything else other than self gratification. I think that fighters who risk their lives should have more, right? And learning from the Mike McCallums of the world who fought for a long time, fought top fighters and was available, but is so underappreciated and so underpaid. I just vowed that I would never let that happen to Devin. So you know what I mean. I've been 100% behind him. I've tried to get as much education inside the ring and outside the ring for him to prevail.
Well, as soon as you're talking about Mike McCallum, you know that's my fighter, right?
Oh,
I know Mike very well. He's my guy.
Okay.
It's like when Mike McCallum became world champion in '84, then it's not like today. You know what I mean? You're going back 1984. That's years and years ago. We didn't have no mobile phones, no nothing. It was like to get results. We had a thing called teletext, Tunde. Remember teletext?
Teletext, yeah.
Yeah, it come up on your screen, on your TV screen. You have to log into it. It come up on your TV screen, and the result didn't even come out. I had to go to my local betting shop, like the bookies. I had to go to my local bookies. At that time, I was 10 years old. I had to walk to my local bookie shop, wait outside because they weren't gonna let me in because I was too young to go inside. Wait outside, and I asked the lady, "Could you give me the results?" She came out, wrote out all the results, and it was like Mike McCallum beat Sean Mannion to become the WBA light or junior middleweight champion of the world then. And because I'm of Jamaican descent as well, that was to me the biggest thing. And up to today, Mike don't get the props. But this is why I know that you're smart, because you've had your son around, Zab Judah, because we know Zab's his godfather, Mike McCallum. All of these things, like these are intrinsic in a young fighter. So your son's mindset is years ahead of his little young age.
Can I just say there was a time I asked Bill. I said to Bill, "Why you got all these girls around Dev? He's so young." You see what I'm saying? And Bill said to me, "I want these women around him so that when he does get to that level, they won't be a distraction." And this man saw the future. This man knew what was going on. So again, this man is a genius to me.
Absolutely. I wanted to prepare Devin in a way that the streets, he didn't have to go to the streets to get it. You know what I mean? I wanted to be able to let him see it, right? And then we discuss it as father and son, and him get my opinion on it, and him value my opinion. And still to this day, that we have a tight relationship in that sense that, when you keep it away and you not introduce it, and then introduce the wrongs and rights of it, then you tend to lose the edge. I felt that if I could introduce it to him, show him, let him get a look at it and see, then it wouldn't become a distraction versus just keeping it away. So you remembered that too, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trust me. And I remember one time saying we're going back in memory lane because this is serious. The people need to hear this talk so they know we never just jumped up. They need to hear this talk. I remember me and Anthony was laughing about it the other day because I remember, Devin was a young kid. He's like 13, 14. Yeah. And you said to him, "Tell Tunde what he was doing yesterday, man." And he's like, and Devin started crying. Devin started crying in the gym. And he's like, "Man, go on, tell Tunde, man." Because Dev knows I was a serious guy. I'm still a serious guy. So I take training serious. Don't tell me that you on the phone talking to some girls or nothing. And with me and Andy was laughing. Dev started crying, even as a young man, because he so didn't want to upset me as a trainer.
Yeah.
because he knew I was focused. And then we've had some great memories, Bill, man. But listen, one of the questions, I know there's a lot of people online that want to ask questions, but I want to ask you, recently we heard that, you're stepping away from the training aspect of Devin, and you want to focus more on, the business side and the man. What was really your thinking going into that? Because I know, you've always been a permanent fixture in the gym with Devin from the start.
Well, just like the famous quote in the movie with Michael Corleone in The Godfather, he says, "I'm trying to get away, and it keeps calling me back in." Right.
Yes.
So I'm trying to do as much of the business as I can, but Devin still calls, "Hey, Dad, come on down. Dad, come on down. Come on down." Right. So we haven't made the replacement, and like I said, it was never a thing of something being broken. In the sense of me stepping away, it was only a matter of adding more firepower. And even then, when we came to London, Devin trained with you every day, right?
Yes.
Devin is trained with Eddie Mustafa. He's trained with all the Mayweathers, Rob Floyd, Virgil Hunter, Billy Giles, who had Camacho, who's based out of New York. He's trained with so many different trainers who did a great job, right? And when we initially would go with someone else, it would be because that trainer was busy with a pro fighter, or if the trainer was busy, doing something else. So I knew that Devin would accept what he liked and he would reject what he didn't. I knew that early on. So a plethora of different mentors, and it takes a village to raise a child, and it also takes a champion, in my belief. So it's like we have so many different guys that can come in and help out on the training aspect, but I don't think we have as many that'll come in and do the business the way that I handle Devin's business. So I really felt that my attention needs to be on the business aspect, right? But I didn't want to put so much on the business aspect that it takes away from training. So I made the announcement, right? And you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. But as of right now, we're you know what I mean? I still got the heavy load that I've had before the announcement that I made, you know what I mean? And I welcome it. It's nothing that I get, you know what I mean, that I'm upset about by training them. It's just a thing where I wanted to bring in, and I still want to bring in more firepower to make us even stronger.
Okay.
Yes,
So, like Dev's done a lot of work. He's like doing a lot of work with Mickey Bay, former lightweight IBF champion. So I know that he does a lot of work with Mickey Bay. So is Mickey Bay now going to be like the head guy in the corner?
Mickey Bay has been a great help, a great support coming in. We've known Mickey Bay, when Devin was an amateur. So we, you know what I mean, welcome him. But like as of now, I always reserve the right for Devin to pick the guy and make the announcement. But as of right now, nothing has changed. We have the same system, we have the same team in place.
Okay, because if you look on Devin's style, there's a lot of mixture with him. There's a little bit of Floyd there. To me, I see a lot of Ray Leonard in him. I see a little bit of Mike McCullum, especially how he'll pop to the head and he'll spin around and throw the hooks downstairs, and he goes straight right hand to the body. He's multifaceted for a young man. Like what fights have you studied and implemented for your son to do the stuff that he's doing right now, sir? Well,
absolutely. Just like me and Tunde, we talked about it at length about we're big fans of the Mayweathers, both Roger and Senior. 9 years ago, we were studying those guys and talking about it. And Tunde knew that I had the opportunity because I was able to be here and to sit around those guys and just soak it up. You know what I mean? So I think the Mayweathers, both, also Roy Jones, played a great part. Mike McCallum, you know what I mean? And like I say, you know, it's just Devin has a combination of all those different styles. And, you know, and I think that that's what makes him the fighter that he is. He's able to adjust, and he doesn't necessarily give anyone the same look over and over again. He's able to switch up to different looks.
Okay.
Let me just say, big up Punch Drunk Boxing. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Go on, Spence. You asked the question.
Punch Drunk Boxing. He had on the show, on his show recently, he had Anthony Breland, Mark Breland's son.
Okay.
On his show, and he reached out to me for me to come on his show. I'm like, he went through. It was Rap Star Boxing that hollered me and said, "Yeah, you got to come on." And Rap Star Boxing was saying, "Oh yeah, hook up Bill." I said, "We don't need to hook up Bill. Bill and Tunde, my brother." So,
so Rap Star, he told me. He said the same thing. He said, "Brother, if I introduce you to these people in the UK, brother, you know what I mean. You are going to say." You know what I mean? That you're going to say Rap Star is a bad motherfucker. So he never told me who it was. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But so I reached out. Of course, I reached out to Tunde out of support for him and everything that he was going through in the media, right, with Anthony, because I know how much time and sacrifice he has spent with Anthony, both inside and outside the ring, and how much he believed in Anthony when Anthony didn't even believe in himself. I don't think Anthony ever thought he could get to the place that he is without Tunde's help. So I just wanted to call Tunde and to show him my support. And through that, you know, we were talking, and then we talked about you, and then we talked about me coming on the show. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's all
Bill, I want to get down to this thing here because, you know, I don't understand. You know, before I was like, Spencer was like, these people are ducking them. And I'm like, no, they can't be ducking them. But when I spoke to you and you really broke down what's going on, I've never heard so much nonsense with these governing bodies. And I want you to touch on this because I know you have two, like, you know, we're going to touch on the four kings, the so-called four kings. Javante, Ryan Garcia, Tafio Lopez, and obviously Devin. But I want you to.
You said Tafijo Lopez.
Yeah, Tafijo Lopez. Yeah, I like that one too. I like that one. But yeah, but you know, I want you to break down the two mandatories that you have in Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna, and the fact that Ryan Garcia fought Luke Campbell for interim WBC title, which is supposed to mean you're going to fight Devin next.
Yep.
Correct.
And I've never heard in the history where you can just say, I'm not fighting him. What was the whole point of the fight?
Well, that's what we want the WBC to now sort out, is the fact that if we have two mandatories and Ryan Garcia, then Ryan Garcia, if, in my opinion, if he's not going to fight Devin, then he should be removed, right? And
yes,
two mandatories. We should have the next one should be one. We cannot just sit there and they just keep saying we have two mandatories and we keep fighting and the fighters aren't available or the fighters are denying the fights, right? So that's our whole thing, is to for the WBC to smoke out Ryan Garcia, you know, meaning either put us in a fight with him, remove him, right, and let us move on down the list.
Yes, sir. I mean, have you ever heard where you fight for eliminator for a world title, then you not the fight?
You know what, Tunde? It's like the fans don't give Devin. It's totally the opposite. It's crazy because the fans don't give Devin the respect, but his peers. The fighters give Devin the respect in the sense of they don't want to fight him. So, or or they make up shit. So with that saying, like, you know, I mean, we think and we believe that we're in a very comfortable position. Well, I won't even use the word comfortable, but I'll say we're in a great position because of the way that the fighters are acting, right? You know, me as a dad, you know, and a coach, right? Do I want the line to be around the corner of guys wanting or thinking that they can beat Devin up? You know what I'm saying? Or do I want, you know, the line to be short, you know what I mean? And, you know, very calculated. So a lot of the guys that aren't raising their hand, I think they're making calculated moves based on money and not necessarily based on thinking that they can beat them, which, you know what I mean, goes back to the Money Mayweather thing where, you know, Floyd was, you know, he was a fighter that fighters didn't believe they can beat him, but they did know that it was going to be a big payday for him.
Yes, sir. Spence?
Yeah, so in your ideal world, because I'm hearing about contracts and everything else, and like you got your own promotional company right now, and we know at present moment you are on the zone, and there's I think like I think that's reached its tenure now. So like you're gonna be to the open market pretty soon. That's the talk that's going around, Bill. Now, I'm saying in your ideal situation, what are the fights that you'd want your son to be in right now?
Of course, for all the belts is the fight that, you know, as a fighter and coach and manager and alike, that, you know, want to get all the belts. You want to be the best in the. So it would first be Teofimo Lopez is the fight that we want.
So Teofimo Lopez is the franchise champion, right?
Yeah.
The witness protection champion.
Witness protection. So, I mean, you maybe need to educate me and a few people. With the WBC belt that Devin has, does it not need to be defended within 12 months? Isn't that the case? And what is the case with the franchise belt?
No, if you win the belt, not from a champion, a vacant belt. If you win the vacant belt, you have 6 months. So that was the reason why Lomachenko, who beat Luke Campbell, didn't have a year to defend. He had 6 months. And within that 6 months time, the Teofimo Lopez business and Richard Comey and Nagatani wouldn't have been handled. What they had to do was they had to opt out and go the franchise route, which meant that he got stripped. You know, it was not an elevation. To become the franchise champion is not an elevation. It's actually being stripped of the title, because I'm sure if he had his way, then he would have kept the belt, the WBC belt, for as long as he could and made it a true unification of all the titles. But
yes,
being that Devin is like I said, his business inside the ring he's handling his business inside the ring and outside. Equally as we had the pressure on Top Rank and Lomachenko through the WBC to mandate that fight. And in order for the fight not to be mandated, they applied to go into the witness protection program, right? And when they did that, we were unable to. So if we weren't able to fight Lomachenko, and both Javier Fortuna and Teofimo Lopez got out of the WBC tournament, that would have qualified to fight Luke Campbell, because that's what it was all about. The tournament was ordered to fight Luke Campbell, who was at that time who was the number one mandatory because he beat Ivan Mendy. So while we were in the tournament, right, which as a young fighter, having your fighter in the tournament at such a young age, right, to become the mandatory, you know what I mean, was a decision that we made, and we knew that, or we felt that we had the best fighter in the tournament. Teofimo decided that, and you know, he said that Devin made the wrong decision. He said that it was an easier route for him by going to the IBF, right? So went to the IBF, and went another route, which forced us to fight Zaur Abdullaev for the interim title. Now, the interim title, when he became interim champion, it was nowhere else. It was no one else to fight, just as well as it is right now. So Devin was then elevated to full world champion because no one was there to challenge him, right? And he had entered the tournament, technically won the tournament because Tio got out, Javier Fortuna got out, right? And then Lomachenko was stripped, right? He was stripped and given, because they petitioned, he was given a status of a franchise status, a franchise designation being described by Mauricio Suleiman in the beginning. With the help of the ESPN, with the help of the whole ESPN staff and the top-ranked staff, they've managed to attempt to flip the narrative, to flip it around as being undisputed, right? Which to me, anyone that's knowledgeable about the sport, right, will say that that's not the true undisputed. Because if you add a belt, which would make 5 belts, right, then you still need all of the belts to be undisputed. So you can add 6 belts, you can add 7, but you cannot take away the belt that Muhammad Ali has had, Floyd Mayweather has had, Sugar Ray Leonard has had, that they defended. So to me, you cannot have 3 belts that you defend and 1 belt that you don't defend, right? 1 belt challenge, and then say you're truly undisputed.
Wow. Wow. So basically, well, I mean, what you're saying, the franchise belt holds no weight at all because you don't need to defend it.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Which I'll say is that if you give it any credence, right? If you give it the credit that it has, you still have to come back and get the full world title, get the full WBC world title, because what the franchise champion, what the franchise designation does is it allows you at any given time to petition to fight the world champion. So he actually is the mandatory. He's the number 1 mandatory is Teofimo Lopez, because that's what the franchise designation does. It gives you the opportunity to go make a fight and then come back to the WBC and say, okay, now I'm ready to fight everyone in the WBC organization, including the mandatory.
So I want to go back. If Ryan Garcia, as he did, fought Luke Campbell for the interim title, that would mean that your other mandatory would be Javier Fortuna. But now I'm hearing through the pipeline that Fortuna is in line to fight Garcia. Now, explain to me how you work that one out.
Bro, it's absolutely strange to me. We went to Dallas, Texas, under the assumption that when the winner of Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia would be the mandatory for Devin, and that would be. One thing about Ryan is he's in the middle of Devin and he's in the middle of Javier Fortuna. So if you don't fight Devin, then you fight Javier Fortuna, I'm assuming, where Javier Fortuna then wins the position that Ryan Garcia is in. You know what I mean? Which is strange.
Nonsense.
Matt McKenzie, thank you very much for the $20 contribution, my friend. He has a question out here, and he's saying Tio and Ryan have been caught lying on multiple occasions, kind of like Shane Mosley was caught lying and making excuses about fighting a young pretty boy Floyd. Do you think, and this is to you, Bill, do you think it is time to move on from those guys and fight them down the road?
Well, I mean, like I said, Devin is the youngest of the bunch. So, I mean, we welcome it, and you know what I mean? All the controversy and everything that goes along with it. We've saw, what Floyd, we've, been a fan of him for many years. We saw what he had to go through, to become the household name that he did, and patience and frustration don't run on the same street. We're going to be as patient as we need to be, get to where we want to go.
Yes, sir. And it's one of the things that, when we spoke the other day, I was like, Bill, just be patient. Because Devin has that. He has the age, he's so young. And in my opinion, he has better boxing skills than all of them. All these guys, Garcia, Tank, Teofimo. And I feel that because he's so young, there's still a lot of time for him to develop and become even a better fighter. Now, I just want to know your thinking, around fighting Lomachenko right now? You know, I know Devin is a fighter and he wants to fight everyone, but what was your whole? And I guess you make decisions together. But if that fight was there for you at that time before he beat Tio, would you have taken that fight? No problem.
Oh, we would take that fight right now, not just then. We would. Lomachenko is an accomplished fighter. He's accomplished in the way that he gave Tio fits on the second half of the fight. We recognize that, at least I do. You know what I mean? And I think the win over Lomachenko would be a bigger win for Ryan Garcia or Javier Fortuna, or in even our case, who we're hearing, Jorge Linares. So you know what I mean? It's about Devin growing as a fighter through every win. You know what I mean? And with all those guys, I think that they pose a level of they pose a different level of skill set than Gamboa or anybody else that Devin has fought. So in order to get to where we're trying to go, we must go through these kind of styles and these kind of that kind of opposite. So me personally, I would welcome the Lomachenko fight.
Yes, sir. Spence, before I got a load of questions, Spence. But go ahead.
I'm saying, like, so ideally, because Lomachenko got dethroned his last fight out against Teofimo Lopez, you would take that fight if the opportunity came out to have that fight next. That's what we're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, a lot of people now be saying, like, on that for that fight now against Lomachenko, because I was pretty upset by Lomachenko, to the fact of, like, the amount of excuses that came out of his mouth after he lost the fight against Teofimo Lopez. I don't like those things. I'm just being 100. I'm keeping it 100. Right? Mm-hmm. Why would you believe your son would beat Teofimo Lopez, would beat Lomachenko? Let the world hear this. On the fight is right.
Well, from this, we look at it from the same way that Teofimo did, and you know, both Teofimo Jr. and Senior. I think on the infamous meeting where they were on barbershop conversations where they met at the MGM at one of the fights. They both said that they believed that the other would give Chinko all the problems in the world based on the size. Teofimo Lopez always says how big of a lightweight he is. Well, you know what I mean. So is Devin. You know, they're both are, you know what I mean, have good size on them. So does Ryan Garcia. You know, so we look at Loma, we look at you know, his ability to get in on the inside on a fighter that has a jab like Devin. You know, a fighter that has the speed and footwork and athleticism. So we know that, you know, Lomachenko is a great champion, but I know that something else that's just special about that. So we don't undermine that he's done. I always say that those fighters are great. You know, Teofimo is a great young fighter, you know, as well. But when you talk about Devin Haney, you talk about a special fighter that only comes around, you know, a lifetime or two.
Well, and again, going back, sorry to go back to this whole elimination thing, but you know, Tio said that, you know, he ain't looking at Devin now. He's gonna fight Kambosos, but he's saying if the Kambosos fight doesn't come off, then there's a possibility of Devin. And I'm like, what's all this if business? It's a you know, it's your mandatory.
Absolutely, and more importantly, what the fans and people must understand is that before you hear Bob Arum saying that he wants Tank Davis, he wants Ryan Garcia. I think if Ryan Garcia was available for Teofimo Lopez, then you wouldn't hear anything about him have his mandatory. Why would Bob Arum come on and say that next fight that he's looking for a Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis if he couldn't make the fight happen? And we know a Hall of Fame like Bob won't just say that just to be saying it, right? So we know that a true unification of all the titles would trump the mandatory, and it's something that the fight can happen now and not next, you know, for all the belts.
Well, Bubba's saying he ain't putting up no money for that fight. So, you know, from what I'm hearing as well, Devin Haney promotion might bid on that fight. and that would be a big deal because that's Devin promoting their fight.
If he ain't gonna work with us, he can work for us. At least.
Come on. This is it. This is it, Spence.
Yeah. So we go through the list of guys. I wanna know, because I've heard from I'm just telling it how it is, man. You know what I mean? I'm just telling it how it is. Mickey Bay said like he was there when Devin sparred with Tank. Now we want to know the fullness, because I've been hearing on a couple of things, but you're on the fighters right now. And like, you got UK fans here. Your son got some UK fans here that want to be listening, even though this is going out from the world right now. But you got some UK fans up in here. We want to know what happened, because I heard that you put down some big money too, Bill. You was rolling with that. You was rolling with that bag, right? You was rolling with a bag, right?
Yep.
Right. And I heard that you put down some money on the spar. So we want to know what exactly happened when Gervonta Davis and your son sparred.
Well, you know, I save money, man. I don't spend it. I still got the money I won from the sparring session, you know, as well as my third grade lunch money. You know what I'm saying? So I am serious. And like I said, we tell the truth about it. We know that, you know, I wanted Devin, and I think what helped was we had already made a trip to Upton Gym, world famous Upton Gym, and shout out to all the, you know, the Baltimore fighters.
Baltimore, yeah, in Baltimore.
Yeah, they got some hell of a fighters. One of my good buddies, Dirt, who has Lorenzo Truck Simpson.
Lorenzo's a good guy. He was on he's signed with MTK Global. Good kid. Yeah, he's my people, man. He was on our show. He's a good guy.
Yeah, good dude. You know what I mean? And he comes from that gritty Baltimore area, you know what I mean, that has produced Tank Davis. We took a trip when Devin was, I guess he was probably maybe 14, about 14 years old, to go see Tank Davis and knock on his door because we heard so much about him. And believe me, he lived up to everything that we had heard about him. He handled Devin. We took it. We went back to the drawing board, right? And one day when we were in the car with Floyd, and Floyd was on the phone with AB, and Floyd told him, he says, you know, AB, where you at? You got your guy with you? I got my guy with me, right? And he asked us. He put the phone down. He said, you know, Tank. And then I said, yeah, I know Tank. He said, Dev, you want to work with Tank? Dev said, yeah, he want to work with Tank. So in my mind, I'm knowing that Tank is everything that I knew him to be, and he was everything that I thought he was, you know, on that day too. But Devin had stepped up in a way that from the work that he was putting in, that, you know, he put him on him. You know what I'm saying? So what we say is it's one and one. You know what I mean? And the people get a chance to see the real one. You know, the people will get a chance to see the deciding one inside the ring, because I don't think ever that they're going to ever get a chance to spar. It's so much, you know, bad blood and sense of that it'll make for a great fight for the people. But for sure, AB's dad and Lee, Coach Levi, who was in the corner in the AB fight on Saturday, you know,
yeah,
and AB's dad. I haven't seen his dad in a while, but you know, those were the guys that put up the money, and those were the guys that I won the money from. So, what I mean, all you got to do is ask them, and you know what I mean. They're stand-up dudes, because, and why I say that they're stand-up dudes. Shout out to Ohio and Cincinnati, good dudes, you know, on that end, the Midwest. But when you talk about getting paid from a sparring session, you know, how do you judge that other than being gentlemen about it? You know what I'm saying? So, and I got paid, and that's pretty much the story.
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's gonna be our soundbite. Trust me.
Yeah. Bill. So, you know, moving forward for them, there's kind of at least one name that seems to be thrown about recently, and that's I know me and you spoke about it, the Linares fight. And how close are we to seeing that? And is or have there been any negotiations of forward steps to making that fight, Haney against Linares?
Well, our good friend and partner in Eddie Hearn, who's been negotiating Linares fight, who's been keeping me up, he says that it's pretty close to happening, but we've been waiting WBC to make a ruling, mandate the fight in any way, shape, in any order, whether it be Luke Campbell, whether it be Javier Fortuna, whether it be Jorge Linares. What we're is Devin Haney is not picking, because when Devin Haney is picking them, then everyone has a problem. So being a WBC champion, what we need to do is we need to be ordered the fight, be put in the that the WBC, this is the best available opponent, and this is one of your mandatories, right? And then that sets apart the franchise champion, because the franchise champion is the only champion that's picking fighters, right? The true WBC champion is getting fighters, is taking the challengers.
Fantastic. Spence?
So it looks like it could be Linares then. And I think that'd be a great fight. Linares is a very, very well accomplished man, a multiple weight world champion. That'd be a good fight. Because I remember when it was muted that Ryan Garcia was going to fight Linares. And at the time, I thought it was going to be too early for Ryan Garcia to be in with Linares. Yeah. But I don't think it's too early for your son to go in there with Linares.
Linares is a hell of a champion and a constant professional. He's raised his hand and said that he's wanted to fight, so we totally respect him. You know what I mean, and respect what he's brought to. He dropped Lomachenko in the fight. He's also beat Campbell. You know what I mean. So, you know what I mean. We think that he's a qualified former world champion that will pose enough problems and resistance to death for Devin to grow in front of the eyes of the people. And look to, I have confidence in the world with him, in Devin, and we just look to continually to get better. I definitely feel that that Jorge Linares fighter that will bring out that in Devin.
Okay,
that would be a definite great fight for Devin. Rachel Chigozi asks, can you ask Mr. Haney, did Lopez Sr. ever find his phone charger? Also, he kept mentioning contacting you about the fight after the announcement on the 18th. Did that happen, Bill?
No. We haven't heard anything from the Lopez's in terms of making the fight. One thing that we do understand is that the way that he hunted and the way that he talked about Lomachenko, 2 or 3 fights on him, the way that Teofimo Sr. talked about fights before that. But to piss on the people's head, tell them that it's raining, it would be an injustice for in boxing that we two families, the Haneys and the Lopez, that we don't have enough going on to make the fight happen now. That we put it off on the promoters, that we put it off on the networks, when you see Teofimo has forced a purse bid between him and Cambosos. He's, according to Bob Aaron, colluded. And I didn't know that word until I heard it. I had to look that motherfucker up. You know what I mean? So they got a chance to talk, and they talked about it. They went out and attempted to make things happen, to make the fight happen. When they went back to the promoters after they tried to make it happen, they said, okay, well, that's all that's on the table. Let's go to purse bid. So he's betting on himself, and that's no more different what Devin and him could do, what the Lopez family and the Haney family can do, right? So I don't want to undermine, all the years and sacrifice that the Mike McCallum of the world have made, get Devin Haney in the position that he's in, and then to water it down with bullshit like we're not in charge.
Come on. Love that. So there is a possibility that you can bid for that fight and make it happen. Really.
Absolutely.
Question for
You know what? And you know what? And Eddie, who said, he said, maybe Devin will ask for the money, and I say maybe not.
Matt McKenzie, thank you for the donation.
Max on fire right now. Max on fire. He's rolling that in.
Matt said, love how you raised your young lion, Bill. If they can't work with us, they can work for us. And that is the line of the year. I'm using that one. If they can't work for it, but I need to get in your position first. But it's going to happen, you know, because I can pick up the phone and get the knowledge and from Mr. Haney. So I'm in a good position.
I firmly believe that we're in a great position, but the ones that come behind us are going to be in a better position.
Yes.
1,000,000%.
Yes, sir. And that's what it's about. You know,
like we didn't, and you know, when we went to Jay-Z's house and we talked about doing business with Jay-Z, it would have been a great opportunity to be so close to one of the gods in entertainment, right? But also we had to think about the legacy and what that would say to the young fighters and the dads that came behind us. So, you know, or
come on.
Working with Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? You know, it would have been a great thing. You know, you travel around the world, you're able to get a lot of publicity and all that, but it would definitely cast a shadow on fathers and sons feeling that they have the opportunity to do great things. You know, because before we came into it, the time when me and Tunde talk about it, it was almost like you had to hook up. You know, it's like, how are you going to do it? Don't go with the big four. You know, the De La Hoyas of the world, the Bob Arams, the Mr. Heymans, and you know, the Eddie Hearnses. You know, but with work, you know, and sacrifice, you can come to the table as a boss, and you don't have to as a father, you know, give your kid away. You know what I mean? You can demand to be part of it, right? The son doesn't have to leave the parent because the parent can't get the job done. I know it's a lot of other fathers that are studying us and, you know, and are going to do it even better.
Fantastic. Spenny?
Yeah, maybe I could do. I got a 9-year-old son right now. He's just doing a little bit of boxing, but he's a thinker. He's a thinker. He's a proper little thinker.
I know you can do it. I know you can do
it. So I mean, there's someone was asking here, Bill, about the recovery of Devin's shoulder. Has he fully recovered after surgery?
He's fully recovered. The latest one was he had broke his hand at the last camp. But
okay,
what we learned from the first surgery was to keep our mouth closed about injuries. You know, of course, we're a young company. He's a young fighter. You know what I mean? I'm a young trainer even.
One second, bro. Sorry to interject here. So your son went into the Ugas Gamboa fight with a broken hand.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But one thing that we knew then was to keep our mouths closed, because the last time that we tried to share our injuries and stuff with the world, it came back to bite us in the butt. So we just, you know, we worked. He worked in one hand. He did never use his right hand until he used it in the fight, because he couldn't put any pressure on it. So now that that's healed, you'll see 100% depth.
Well, that makes that performance even greater, because before Tank knocked out Gamboa, you know, he finished that fight with black eyes and everything. And from what I saw, Devin didn't even get touched in that Gamboa fight. And
Andy, if I gave you a black eye right now, you couldn't see it on you. Tank's high color, man.
It's only you red man that when we punch them, we can see the effect.
I'm sure Tank can build a family somewhere down the line.
Karma Serene, thank you very much. She says, Mr. Haney talking that bus talk. Legacy, hashtag legacy.
Karma Serene, give her $20 back. Jesus.
Covered.
Jesus, she looks good.
Yeah, trust me, she's a great supporter.
Always
big
supporting.
boxing fan.
Oh, good.
And
good.
Always.
she's on it. She's on it. And as I said, you know, when we done the advert, we had to fling Nas in the background because it's boss talk. Because this is, you know, you are the boss, and we're learning from you. Yeah, and you know, we can't be ashamed to say that we're learning from others. You know, and what you're doing again, you're creating the legacy, and that's, you know, not everybody can do that. You know, not everybody can do that. But when you believe in yourself, it's possible.
Tunde, now the thing about it was initially when they were talking about the Mexico fights and all these things, but do you not see that fight yesterday between those two Mexican warriors, Oscar Valdez and Burchell, who started their career in Mexico? They fought in Mexico. It's tough opposition in Mexico, and for all the coaches and trainers who are taking the Devin route and going to Mexico, developing their fighter, to continue to have confidence in what you're doing, man, and continue to believe in it. And you know, your number will get called. We were able to go to Showbox, and when we went to Showbox, I believe Devin was okay. So let me go back. He's 25 and 0. He's fought 4 times, so it was 21 there, and there was 18. So he went to Showbox at 18 and 0, right? So by the time that we went to Showbox with 18 fights and 18 times that we done prepared, 18 times the lights, 18 times that we hear, everyone boo, 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 right? By the time that we got on box against Mason Menard, who was 33 and 2, Devin was extremely comfortable. He was ready and prepared. So that attribute to, and thank you and shout out, Tijuana, who embraced us, right? Devin has come as an amateur standout, and also everything that they saw on YouTube, and they welcomed us with open arms. We went down there, filmed the stuff, we put it up on YouTube. We was happy if it was one person or 500 people or 1,000. But what that did was it established content, established a chronological order of our performances, of where we were coming from, and then all now we're able to revert back in and say, hey, that guy is getting better and better. If you go look at all of Devin's fights that are on YouTube, you'll see him get better. You'll see him get better and better and better, and he's 22. So we expect even him to be even better. 26 fight that should happen at the end of April or beginning of May.
Yes, and it's important for people, because I remember, when we was in Vegas so long ago, and I was asking you, what the plan was for Devin. You said, yeah, we're gonna head down to Mexico and have a few fights.
That sounded crazy when I said it, though, right?
Man, this is amazing, and it just, again, people, believe in yourselves, regardless of what anyone's saying. Believe in yourself, and I've always said it's a mental world, and as long as your mind is strong, you live your own truths. And I think what you and Devin have showed so well is that you're living your own truths no matter what anyone says, and it's working because the proof's in the pudding.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Spenny?
Yeah. So, Devin, how tall is Devin?
Devin is 5'9", I believe. Yeah, he's 5'9".
I mean, he looks taller than that. You know what I mean?
He's the same. Him and Floyd are the same height.
Okay. So are we looking at the blueprint of Floyd Mayweather to eventually become a multi-weight world champion?
Oh,
even though like Devin's very young right now, but is that, if you had like a crystal ball, that's how you like things to be projected, like him moving throughout the weights?
Absolutely. Always we have to give the Mayweathers the roses in terms of what they did to the sport, how they've embraced us. And we don't tend to call it the blueprint anymore. We call it the green print, because that's just what it is. He's laid it out for guys like us.
Bill, did you used to rap? Did you used to rap back in the day?
No, but I've been in a lot of rap sessions. You know what I mean?
Okay, because you got bars for days, my friend.
Don't worry, I'm stealing them.
Yeah, but he definitely has laid it out for us to play it out, and young fighters must know is, and he's always said it is, you know, I can show you what I did, but you got to go and do it, right? You can't jump the line and jump to the mansion, jump to all the cars, and jump to all the shit that he has. You have to actually go through it, and we've, welcomed each step. You know what I mean? Of course, we have a vision that's at the top of the boxing, but we have to make the steps needed to get up there. We've never looked to take the elevator in this sport. We've always, was happy with taking the steps because it shows our greatness. Like I said, going against the norm, right, and not choosing the big American promoters here wasn't a handicap to us. It was an opportunity just to show how great we are, as a team.
Let me just say, we got Bobby Wright. This guy, Bobby Wright, he's a military man in the UK, and he always supports us. Always supports us. So give me, he's saying like, big up Spence, Tunde, Gary, and Mr. Haney. He said, this is a great listen. And it is, it's an educational listen because it is, what do they say, like, with gray hair comes wisdom. But I'm saying when you go to bed, the bed to me signifies the real wisdom. So that's all. Tunde likes to look like he's a little young boy, want to fix up himself. I see him slap him. But,
you know what I want to do? I want to do is give a shout out to Eddie Hearn and the UK and specifically Eddie Hearn for being the one person to come in and give us an opportunity to come on as a co-promoter. Right now, I know that of course with that, because Devin being one of his big acquisitions in the US, I think it's undermined. Sometimes people kind of want to look at it different and say, well, they're around talking shit and they're around and they're saying that they're their own bosses and all that. But truth be told, that no other promoter in the United States was willing to give us the situation that Eddie did, give us the opportunity that Eddie did, right? So I always, at the same time, I always think, highly of him and as a special, he's special in our situation, in our business, in our business. He's special in our business because he gave us the opportunity to come on and do business with him as a boss and not as a worker.
Yes, sir. Is it true that Teofimo's people reached out to you and made you an offer for a fight?
No, that's a lie, Ton.
No.
Garcia's people?
No.
So no one ain't offering no money to fight Devin?
No.
Or no one ain't even stepping up to the plate, really?
No, and actually, and it's the total opposite, is that Top Rank doesn't want the fight to happen, right? And they're not getting the pressure from Teofimo Lopez's to make the fight happen, publicly or privately, as far as I'm hearing. And like I say, you can't necessarily always put it on the promoter and the network when the fighter actually has a platform, right? And if the fighter will complain about not getting paid the money, then why is he not complaining about the legacy fight and Devin Haney, right? We're complaining. We're being vocal about it, that we don't say next, we say now, because next is confusing.
Someone HLD asks, did you send a contract to Teofimo though?
No, what we did was we said that Teofimo, you're the franchise champion, right? Let's make it happen. We are not able to go to the WBC and petition to fight you because you're in the witness protection program. No one can get to you, right? No, we can't. But Teofimo, we're available for Teofimo, right? And that's the one thing that we want the people to know. As a WBC champion, as a young hitter, and Devin, he's getting paid a ton, right? Like I reiterated before, with Eddie, right? So we're in the position that if Teofimo wants to make the fight happen, he can get at us. We can't get at him. And I think that was very strategic on their part with Top Rank. And I want the people to understand. the position that we're in. Because just like Lomachenko, right? When Lomachenko was the world champion, we was at him, right? We was at him in the sense of telling the WBC that this is who we want to fight, and we want that fight mandated, and we would do anything and beat anyone that we need to beat to be in that position. So that's the situation. Is you can't we as we can't get at him. We can't force anything, but we know he can force.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think, to my opinion, you've cleared it. I mean, okay, so we can't get Garcia. He's ducking the fight. We can't get Teofimo. He's ducking the fight. I guess that only leaves Gervonta.
Yeah.
Gervonta. Does that fight interest you?
Well, I mean, of course, like I said, that's a fight that we have history with Tank. It will make a great fight. People want to see it. But with Tank only having one fight at 135 pounds, and then for him to go down to 130 for his last fight, I don't want to necessarily mention him or go at him, because what, until
He's fighting light guys.
Yeah, until he actually, you know what I mean, claims 135 and owns it and holds up to it, then we're not looking at him. I've been hearing rumors that he might be going down to 126 and all those kind of things. So, I tend to not necessarily think about him in our immediate future.
Okay. And I mean, I did hear it as well. The Gary Russell Jr. talk. I mean, all these questions. I know everyone online, they want to hear this from you, and how true they are. Gary Russell. I don't know. That guy was talking about fighting Crawford and all sorts of nonsense. So I can't really trust what's coming out of Gary Russell Jr.'s mouth. But you're the man to clear that up. Is that a fight that can possibly be made between Devin and Gary Russell?
Well, I mean, I think we spent a lot of time and a lot of energy covering that fight. I think, DAZN, they did a great job in the sense of standing behind the offer that Gary Russell asked for. And, I mean, I would, go on into, what potentially can happen with that. But what I do not want to do is I do not want to let the Teofimo Lopez off the hook, you know what I mean, in terms of looking for, right? And if I say, okay, well, it's Gary Russell at 126, or if it's Tank who's at 130, right? Those are not the fights. Those are the fights that we would fight. We respect who they are, right? But at the same time we feel, as well as just like the people, we feel that the fight that needs to happen now is Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney.
Excellent. And we want that fight. I know Spence is calling for that fight.
From long time, from when it was, because I know you know the Pops pretty well, and I'm saying, like, for a long time I was calling for that fight, because there's times like, Teofimo Lopez, Tunde called the fight, because when the fight was up against, I didn't think that Teo had it in him to deal with Lomachenko. I thought like it's going to be a kind of like a Mayweather Canelo situation where it came too early for him. And I got to give the guy props. He went out there and he did a job. It was still a close fight. But more so, what kind of bittered me was, like I said, the bitching that came after the fight from Lomachenko. I didn't like that. I hate things like that. I think, like, if things don't go your way, take it as a man, brush yourself off, come back again. This is me. That's how I roll. So when I saw these, I kind of disregarded that talk. Oh, sorry, Matt McKenzie's come back again with $5. Who wins, Spencer Crawford? And who has the best glasses in the business, BILL Haney or Leonard Ellaby?
It's got to be Bill, because you can actually see Bill's eyes. Leonard, you can't even see Leonard's eyes.
Leonard been biting my style for years.
For years.
So, okay, who wins out of Spencer and Crawford? Who you got for that one, Bill?
You know what? I know both of them, and I got a ton of respect for both of those guys. And I know for a fact that the fans will be the winners of it. Crawford, he's a hell of a boxer. Also, he's a dog. got Spence, who's a dog as well. I mean, you know, and I think that fight should also happen now and not next. But, you know, the fans will be the winner. That one is a 50-50 fight. It's a toss-up, you know what I mean? And yeah, I couldn't pick either one.
Who you got, Tim?
I'm going with Spence. I just think Spence is just too big for Crawford. Crawford is a strong fighter, technical fighter, switch hitter. But I think fundamentally, and the fact that Spence, after such a horrific car crash, can come back and really just beat up Danny Garcia. Because that's what he done. He beat him up. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I agree. He's a dog, and he beat up Danny. He beat up a Danny in a way that it wasn't close. It was, you know, we were there at that fight. And but one thing about Crawford is he's a mean son of a gun.
Oh man.
And he has that mean streak, dog. You know what I'm saying? Inside and outside the ring. He is not no pushover. You know what I'm saying? And if you see the meeting that they had, Crawford and Spence, he wasn't intimidated none.
Not at all.
No. To me,
not even a little.
To me, Crawford won that. That confrontation, Crawford won that.
You know what? I didn't even know that guys were so wicked down in Omaha, Nebraska. I didn't know they were that wicked. Yeah,
Crawford got to be the meanest motherfucker in Nebraska.
Yeah, it must be. Must be.
Absolutely. Great fight, as you said. I mean, in terms of the boxing, I think, you know, we've covered that, and you spoke so well and educated a lot of people on this channel today, and really just clarified the position with them. And you've made it clear, you know, these guys are ducking them. One guy we haven't spoke about that just crossed my mind.
I know what you're gonna say, Tun.
Is Shakur Stevenson.
Yep, I knew he was gonna say that.
And what your take is on Shakur, because I mean, put Devin to the side for a minute. None of these guys are calling Shakur's name, and there must be a reason for that. You know. So what's your take? What's your take on Shakur? Is there a possibility that somewhere down the line, you know, because I know Dev can't go down to 130. He's just too big for that. But you know, is that a fight we can see in the future?
Absolutely. You know, that's a fight that we know that will happen. Shakur is a bad man. You know what I mean? His management team, you know, Jay Prince is like a big brother to me. You know,
Jay Prince. We last year we took Jay Prince out to Dubai, so I spent a lot of time with him. Good guy.
And can I just say, sorry, before you kept going, it's so weird how yourself and Jay, you know, look after the two guys that are the most ducked in this business. And that's interesting.
Yep. So that's a fight that we know that it's definitely going to happen. You know, we're close. Like I said, I'm very close with Shakur's management team. You know, but it's just a matter of Shakur handling his business and continue doing what he's doing. Devin is going to continue doing his, and we look to make that a big mega event, you know, in the future.
Yes, sir. HDO has said, now that Samson submitted request to Mauricio Suleiman to activate Fortuna as a WBC mandatory, is the fight on for April 17th, 2021?
Absolutely. Devin, you know, is waiting for Mauricio Suleiman's request, both from the Fortuna team, both from us, you know what I mean, and hopefully an answer from the Garcia team as well. And then, you know, these fights happen.
Yes, sir. Spence?
Yeah, there's a question up here. Balfour, was that Aloisi? What about Richie Comey? And Balfour, you Ghanaian as well, because I'm seeing this.
I will say.
Oh, you know, absolutely. Richard Comey had a hell of a fight, you know, the other night. You know, we got a chance to see Richard Comey rebound, you know, that devastating knockout of Teofimo Lopez. And, you know, as a champion, you know, former champion, you know, we respect. And, you know, like, I don't have anything but things to say about him. But
the thing is,
but Devin and the position that he's in is not a position where he's picking, right? Because when you talk about we're picking, then you say, okay, we're picking one versus the other, right?
Yeah.
When we had Gamboa, and it was Gamboa because no one would, because the WBC, we didn't mandated a mandated mandatory, right? So in order for us to be viewed publicly as a true champion, we want the WBC to order the fight, right? And then problems fighting the person. Then you don't say who Devin Haney picked, or you say who the dad picked. You say that that's his mandatory, right? In the sense of what was supposed to happen was Ryan Garcia and the winner of Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my thing is, why should there be one rule for Haney and then another rule for all these other fighters?
Right.
You know, it really doesn't make sense. You know, so it's like they want you to conform when it suits them, but
Correct.
they ain't conforming to their own rules.
Correct. Well, like I said, you know, being champion, being a world champion means that your head is on the chopping. You know what I mean? And we knew that it's hard to get a world title, but it's even harder to keep, right? So
yes, sir.
When Devin has gotten to the point, and I knew it would come a time that his head would be on the chopping block. And you know, you don't become a world champion and then start saying, okay, well, this fighter or that fighter, you know, if you become the world champion, you truly are saying and willing to fight the best because you really firmly believe that you're the best. So you know, we welcome all the smoke and any fight that's being made. I feel that it's a winnable fight for Devin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rav86 says, after your son, who, in your opinion, is the top 5 at lightweight?
I would have to go after Devin. I would have to say both, you know, 2A and 2B is Loma and Teofimo Lopez. And the reason why I say with 2A and 2B, because Teofimo, for some reason, he doesn't want to fight him again, right? When you wanted to fight him so bad the first time and you felt that he wasn't on your level, then you beat him. But according to Sugar Ray Leonard, what the great Sugar Ray Leonard said is, if you really beat me, then beat me twice. You see what I'm saying? So it's something about Lomachenko that Teofimo found out in that fight. So we have to still keep him there. And that's why I always say, you know, if that was a fight that was presented to us, right, we would take it. So I would have to say 2A and 2B, Loma. You know, probably then, what's it say? I would say Ryan. I would say Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia after him, being 3. 4 being Richard Comey.
Okay.
Richard Comey, probably 4 is Richard right now.
Yeah, Richard Comey.
So what about Tank? Tank won't mean him because you think he's down at super featherweight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily include him in it because he's not at 135. You know, because he went and got the belt at 130, similar to what Gary Russell has at 126. If you really are who you say you are at 135, to everyone, drop the belt and come on up for the smoke. You know.
Yes. One thing I say, I don't really. Hold on. Joe Farmer says, Tunde and Spence, great interview, guys. Will Devin fight in the UK again as he has UK fans? Again, I didn't know Devin fought in the UK.
Devin came over and he trained over here. He's with Ricky Burns down at Matchroom Gym.
What you know about that, Spencer? What you know about that?
No, I'm the knowledge. I know everything. Right?
Listen,
right. But he didn't fight. I'm just going to correct Joe. He didn't fight. But what he is saying is your son does have UK fans. You know what I mean?
And that's the reason why the great Eddie Hearn, who put Devin, we came over and sparred Ricky Burns, right? When Devin got through with Ricky Burns, I said, well, that's a fight we ain't gonna never get, right? And then when I asked Eddie, for Lee Selby before Lee Selby fought him, right? He knew that Devin was too much for Lee Selby, right?
Oh,
so,
wow.
You know what I mean? So, but as far as coming to the UK, man, we were embraced in a way like, like rock stars. You know what I mean? Like the people came out to Devin's open workout, and we were amazed, man. We got so much love there that it's like almost like we, from 2012 to be there to spend 30 days for the Olympics, right? And then to come back, man, it's like we didn't want to leave.
Yes, sir. You really are living the dream, Bill. 100%. I think to finish up, I want you to really just expand on the great stuff you've done with, allowing. I mean, Devin's got multiple businesses outside of boxing, which is an area which I feel that, when you get to a certain level of the sport, you need to explore, and let's touch on some of the things that Devin's involved in outside of boxing, because it's really important to fighters to really have the mindset to think like this, because boxing doesn't last forever. It really is a short career, and there is life after boxing. A lot of people don't have the guidance you have given Devin, but at least if they can hear the story and the green print, then they can look at Devin and Bill and say, yeah, I'm following the green print.
Well, Devin, each and everything that Devin does and each business that he has, he supports the business. I mean, the business were built and generated around him. Obviously with real estate, that's something that, that the foundation of the world is built on. And, so for him going to real estate was a natural transition, because that's, I'm involved in real estate as well, rehabbing properties and stuff like that. So once he was introduced to that, first he came on as, a home buyer and understanding, what it takes to actually purchase a home. Then he started investing. So that was kind of natural, as well as the WeDM Recovery, which is a CBD company that we started. And he uses the CBD for recovery, for aches and pains and stuff like that. He liked the feeling that it did, and so he started a business, of course, as well as with the Dream World Transportation, which is his company, and we move his vehicle all around the country wherever he's at. So that was another business that he supported. That was an easy transition, because now he provides the same transportation to other fighters, entertainers, or and alike. So it's just a matter of what I learned early on is that if the fighter or artist does not believe in the brand, how can they actually sell it? So these are things that Devin is using, he's supporting, right? So it was just a natural progression.
Yes, sir. Spence?
Who's this? Matt McKenzie, $5. Big up, Matt. I could even answer this one for you, but I'm going to leave this to Mr. Haney. We heard what happened when Floyd sparred Pernell Whitaker, but how proud were you when Devin sparred Floyd, and who bested who in that session?
That sparring session right there was right up there with the birth of my daughter. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Happy because Devin, Floyd being an idol of Devin's, in boxing, and Floyd being one of the boxing greats, right? To actually get Floyd in the ring, and for Devin to do the number he did on him, right? And I know people, want to say, what I mean, foreign, or they don't want to hear it. But if your son, your brother, or son was one-on-one with Michael Jordan, right, or one-on-one with LeBron James, you would fucking tell it too.
Trust me, it's a fact. And you know what, Bill? I tell you what's so crazy to me, because I still see Devin as a young man. And when I'm hearing these stories, I'm like, nah, this ain't real. But this is what time does. What time, hard work, dedication, and development does. And, that's life. You can leave someone in the past. They don't even know what's going on. And even though I haven't seen it, to hear you say it with so much, I know it's not a lie. And if my fighter was beating up Floyd or got the better of him, I don't care if it's even happened in the rules. You got the better. I'm telling everyone.
You said it right, beating up Floyd. Don't try to water it down. I didn't say the best of him. I said beating him up.
Come on. I love that.
Thank you for your $2. Devin is the real deal at 135, the true WBC champ.
I'm telling you, tonight, everything I've heard about Devin I believe it. Everything, because I'm not, you know me, I'm not a third party kind of guy. I'm going to the man. I want to hear from the man. And what you said to me and us and Spence and the man behind the cam, Guy Blake, tonight has confirmed to me Devin Haney is the real champ at 135.
100%.
We appreciate it, and I'm a firm believer in the work that he's put in. So I don't sugarcoat it. I don't, I give it real. You know what I mean? If in that case, when talked about it with Floyd, because for Floyd and all the other fighters that he sparred, that he's fought, and things didn't go, things went Floyd's way and didn't go to other fighters' ways. You know what I mean? Whether we caught him at the tail end or we caught him at the beginning, we caught his ass. And I keep it real. You know what I mean? Yes. It does nothing for me, and being in Devin's corner, being having the opportunity to talk, that I don't kick the real, right? I'm not, I'm a Floyd Mayweather. I'm a friend of Floyd's. I'm not a
groupie.
Okay, yeah, I'm not a groupie, right? So if he had put hands on Devin, well, it would be something that we learn from, and that's okay too, right?
Yes, sir.
And then when Floyd sparred Earl Spence, right, and it was going around town, and oh my God, Earl came in there, Floyd called him back. You know what I'm saying? In order to, and got that back and got it back. With Devin, I think it was a passing of the torch, a changing of the guard that we weren't called back in after. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, because I was in Vegas that time with the Errol situation, and again, the fact that you weren't called back in speaks volumes. Maybe that's why, Tank is being protected, when it comes to the Devin situation, because Floyd's a smart businessman like yourself, and so he's not gonna risk his number one guy, at this stage of their career. Because at the end of the day, they're all young. They're both young, and there's time, as I said to you privately, just be patient with my son, because your son is my son as well.
I said that. Always said that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I say, it's never no shout at nothing that is like to go against Floyd or to tarnish Floyd's reputation, because Floyd has did a lot for us and our family, right? But also, that doesn't mean that you are now doing something for us that I can't tell the people the truth. You know what I'm saying? Never did for us that I can't say what happened. And for Devin being a young fighter, right? And it meant the world to him to catch him. Just like one day, it's going to mean the world for another fighter to catch Devin. You know what I'm saying? So this is a tough sport, it's a tough business, and you got to always stay ready.
100%. Sammy Ali, thanks for your £2. He says, big up Tunde Spence, and Bill always speaking facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bill, I know you're a busy man. We done 90 minutes straight, and
it went so fast, man.
I'm telling you, man. you know and I know I'm gonna be on the phone to you because I need education because I'm following you. Bro, it just the whole to me. I mean, listen, the people gotta hear this. To me, what I've seen you and being so close to you, you know, because a lot of people in the UK don't know what I'm about. That's the joke.
Right.
The only person who really knows me is Spencer and Anthony.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And I let everybody talk because it don't affect me. You know, but
yo, Bill,
this
I met him last week. I don't know what he's talking about, bro.
There would be no Anthony without Tunde.
100.
And vice versa. And vice versa.
But what I'm saying is when Anthony came with very, very little amateur experience, little to no confidence, right? You turned that whole thing around, right? And I'm telling the fucking truth, right? Because there was no line of promoters, there were no line of people that wanted Anthony Yard at that point. The everything that you put into him is what the people see, right? It's not like with me where I keep it real and I say a community and a village that has raised Devin. It was only one man, and that's Tunde.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill, listen, man. Again, I thank you so much for coming and as usual, talking the facts, the realness. And you know me, I'm a giver, but I'm so motivated when I see my people shining. You know, I look in the background of where you are now, and I'm saying I want some of that. I need to be where my brother is. Like, and I know you want it for me as well. And we all gotta work hard and but I think what I've taken from this most is the understanding the business aspect, you know, and taking it to the next levels. Because there.
I remember when Anthony and then was jumping off the into the swimming pool and all this crazy shit, jumping way off my balcony into the swimming pool, man. You see them? Like, people don't know how connected we are and how much fun we had outside of. You guys stayed with stayed at my house with us.
Yes.
You know?
In the mansion, Tunde always sells us.
Yes, listen. And it's no different. You know what I mean? You can still hear an echo in this joint, right? You are welcome to come at any given time. You as well, Spencer, please. My home is your home. And when you guys,
very much, my brother,
make sure that you give me a call.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Sorry to cut you. Before you go, because Nas I always got to bring up the brother, because like Blue Jays, and Tunde was in the area. I should have took you there yesterday, man. I was going to go grab some food, right? Wiki West Indian restaurant. But Nas was saying, your greatest fighters of all time, your top 5. So I've got to say this because he's been shouting out questions all the time. Like, your greatest fighters, Bill, of all time?
Muhammad Ali.
Come on.
Muhammad Ali.
Come on.
Ali.
Come on.
Muhammad Ali.
Come on.
Ali.
Listen, it's the rap. I love you even more because that's my guy.
Thank you, my brother. See you guys.
Huh?
I said blessings on top of blessings, and I'll see you guys soon, man.
Come on, man. 100%, bro. You keep doing, Bill.
All right.
Man, smart money. Come on, smart money's just sitting in £3, $3.99. So I don't want to disrespect no one. Smart money said, love the show. Fighters need to stop ducking Haney.
Appreciate you, brother. And you know what I'm saying? I hate to go, you know. We didn't spend the time together, but please, by all means, have me back on here anytime that you're ready. And more importantly, I got to get Devin on here. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on. Next.
100%. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have the one, the only, the man of truth, Mr. Bill Haney.
Thank both of you kings, man, for having me on here, man. Blessings to you guys, family, man. You know, I hope everyone stays safe out there, man. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Yes, God bless. Hey, Spencer. Shouldn't care.
Shouldn't care.
Beautiful show.
Very good show. I mean, very inspirational. Yeah, Bill's on point, man. He knows the thing. You know what I mean?
I think you definitely recovered the situation with the so-called four kings. Every question was answered.
Yeah.
You know, Tiafimo, Ryan Garcia was, again, that whole Garcia situation is just, it's a shambles to me. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you have an interim fight to fight Devin, and then after you win the interim fight, say you don't want to fight Devin?
Yeah, you know what? It's also the fact. Thank you very much, Rav86. Right. It's also a fact of like Ryan Garcia believing the media hype because he's being sold fantastically well. You know what I mean? So he's thinking, well, why would I really want that fight anyway?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm sure they fought about 75 times in the amateurs. He said, I don't need that fight.
Yes, and he knows. He knows. And that Richard Comey fight, and I'll tell Bill privately, I'll tell him, forget about that fight. What is there in that fight for Devin?
Yeah, nothing in there.
You fight some tough back Ghanaian man. That's hungry as...
Was probably going to be good man the night before the fight. We don't need that.
Trust me, it don't make no sense. Because I'm saying that, it's like I said to Bill, I was like, bro, these guys are ducking, these guys are making up their own rules.
Yep.
Totally disregarding the rules of the governing bodies and then making up their own rules when they get to that position.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if they can do it, then Dev can do it as well.
Yep. Rav86, thank you very much. Everybody, smash the like button. You know how it goes. Yeah, I mean, 2 nights in a row. You know what I mean? 2 nights in a row we've been up on here. And that's because Tunde used his black book for once in his life. You know what I mean? Tunde had to ring people and arrange things for once in his life. And Tunde cussing and all the rest of it, like, and Tunde don't even know the pressure I'm under. Just like any interview we get, like Tunde will forward, yeah, just make sure they're on the thing, you know. And come on, Spenny, come on. Bro, why you not answering your phone? Why you not answering your phone? Is he coming on? Is he coming on? I'm like, bro, that's cool, man. They're coming on. So it felt good for me to harass Tunde today all throughout the Sunday. Bro, I'm scared of his interview, bro. Yeah, we made posts and everything. Don't try to mug me off, you know. They don't let it close.
I was like, you know what? Wow, this black book business, I'm leaving this to Spencer because the pressure was too much. I was like phoning him. The man's telling me, Bill's telling me, yeah, 7:45, we're gonna do the check. 7:48, 7:50, 7:52, and I'm like, nah. What's going on? And you go through this regularly, but I'm gonna leave you. Everyone's got to stay in their lane, and the black book is your job. That ain't my job. But as Bill showed everyone on this platform, that you know what we have, the relationship we have is deep, you know, and it's like I've always said to you, Spencer, I'm not unhappy at the fact that you're more known and recognized in this sport because you've taken the steps to be where you are and you reap what you sow in this business. And as I said, Bill, he had this in his head from day one, just the same way me and Anthony have a vision and a goal, and no one ain't gonna stop it because it only stops when we stop. And what I've seen from watching Bill Haney over the years and what he's done, what him and Devin have done, is truly remarkable and truly amazing. So Bill, you know, Bill's coming from serious stock. He's a serious man.
Yeah, 100.
You know, he come from the roads and turn it into a corporate.
Well, this is the next thing that you got to realize is this is like, it's never what someone says to your face, but it's what they say behind your back. And was the first thing before we went on to the live chat. Bill says, yo, Spence, I've heard so much about you. I had to hook up Tunde, that you see. And it's like, Tunde's always been telling you from when we came to the UK 9 years ago, yeah, you got to link Spence, you guys got to link up. That's when I was promoting, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? That's when Hard Knocks was busting up things. So like I said to so many people, it's not what people say to your face, but what they say behind your back and how they got your back. Because loads of people, they got your back, but it's way back.
Yeah.
Right.
Trust me.
So, yeah, I mean, it is where it is. And I got to big up every single person who jumped on. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the thing. Joel Farmer, excellent natural interview, guys. Which UK fighters would be a good matchup for Devin? There ain't no one at this present moment. Luke Campbell's the only guy up there of that ilk, but Luke Campbell lost in the eliminator. So just like Bill said, like we ain't calling on names, we fight who's been mandatory for us to go and fight. Because as soon as they start picking, man, then people start complaining.
Yeah, and then the mandatories don't want to fight them, even though they fight mandatory spot. So you can't blame Devin and Bill. You can't blame them. If the mandatory, Lomachenko blatantly sidestep. I didn't believe all this talk before Bill just explained it.
I also got to say, like, True Boxing Black Fight Fan was telling me this because he knows Bill as well. And he was telling me, no, man, these guys don't want to fight him, man. They don't want to fight him. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He said, nah, man, they don't want to fight him. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. And we kept on going on. So, yeah, man, I got big up True Boxing because he was telling me this for a long time. But until you hear it from the horse's mouth, and then you hear it and it's broken down to the fundamentals of what's going on and all the rest of it. And bro, you know me, I can sense bullshit, and there was none there. Man was telling the rules.
And this is what I said. It was the rules, and you heard me say like, because me and Anthony always have this discussion, like because we've known them from the beginning. They can work it out, do the maths. Devin's 22 years old now. This is 2021. He came to England for 30 days in 2012.
Yeah.
So you imagine how young. And that's all and then obviously we went over there. We stayed with Bill and Dev and the family. And the way they got things, the way how Bill has structured this whole family unit. Because one thing we didn't speak about is they actually had their own gym right just off the strip of Vegas, and it was called the Fight Factory. That gym now is, well, from the last time I checked, is where Sean Porter's built his gym.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was actually Dev's gym. And in that gym, you had all the pictures, and you see how Bill has groomed Devin with all the champions, and they were going in there. And I remember, like, even, that's why he was talking about O'Hara and Otu. I personally don't believe that. But again, that was the faith I had in Anthony. The faith I've always had in Anthony. To me, yeah, maybe they might have been showing certain things, but Anthony Yard, to me, had always had that special spark inside of him and the willingness. Because when someone's quiet, but they're in attendance, history shows you that person's always going to be the one that goes on and does things. So I've always had that belief about Anthony, and I'm glad someone who has seen it from the outside has said that now. So it ain't just, people think I'm just jumping onto Anthony. You heard what he said. From the amateurs, from when people weren't looking at Anthony. I've always believed in Anthony, and I'm happy that a man can come on there of that status, can show, because Anthony knows. But you heard me say, everything he feels I've done for Anthony, Anthony also done for me. So it ain't like I'm trying to say Anthony wasn't gonna be where he was if not because of me. Because I people wouldn't know me if not because of Anthony. Certain people wouldn't know me. Certain people like yourself have always backed me and always believed in me. But you understand, from the road. So God bless Anthony Yard, and he will be what I know he's gonna be, regardless. So it's been a great show, Spence. It's been a very
sorry to interject here, but Andrew Perry has just written, and he has said, "Thank you so much, Spencer." He talked to both of us. He was saying how he listens to the show. Thank you. You guys give out so much great energy and have introduced me to the secret, etc. Some days are still tricky, but honestly, the energy you give out boosts me and boosted me in so many ways. Thank you so much. So this is what I'm trying to say, because you know what we do? We give too much energy to negative. And it's not even criticism, because they're not criticizing me; they're criticizing themselves, right?
Yes.
But we do. So when people send out good energies or well wishes and that, they're the ones that we should be concentrating on. Because if you think about it, I mean, you could get 50 good comments or 100 good comments and 2 scornful ones, and we pay attention to the scornful ones, thinking that's madness, because you got to think about it.
I've always said this. We're giving that little piece of something at the bottom.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that no more. I'm just being 100.
Yeah, we're giving them energy, and I've never been there. I'm like, bro, you're blocked. I don't even care about what you're saying, because the majority of the people are always positive and always have good things to say. And
Bobby White says, "Who's coming out of the black book for the next show?" You know what? I'm seeing as like when there's a lot of talk about there's a lot of talk about AJ Fury. Maybe I'm saying maybe Riddick Bowe. I think he's got a fantastic story to tell. Went to the heights, was undisputed heavyweight champion. Maybe Riddick Bowe. Because I speak raw. True.
Big up True.
Yeah, salute to the brothers. Dope interview with my brother Bill. You see, True. Yo, True. I already said that. You was telling me the rules on Devin from long time. From long time. That you were the guy that was telling me, nah, bro, these guys don't want to fight him, bro. And thank you for the $20 as well, because you know what I mean, you're a real one. You know what I mean, and respect. I hope the show is still busting and still doing what you're doing and everything else. And you know what I mean, after the show's done, I'm gonna holler you. I mean, things are going good.
Big up True Boxing.
Yeah, Alan Skills, you two are a blessing. It is so hard for us all. When we saw the notification for the interviews, it gave me something to look forward to. Blessings to you both and everyone on the chat. I love that, Alan. Thank you very much. And also, we can never ever forget the man with the plan, Gary. The man with the plan who's got the cam. I mean, Gary Blake, because we're the Trinity up in it. I'm just trying to make us look like the Trinity. And all Tunde's got to do is grow his hair again and grow a beard. That is it. Yeah,
one of us got a look young.
Tunde ain't got a black book, but he's got a black line in his head. But it's all good.
Come on. Yeah, listen, man, the thing's going well. You know, everybody. It was a great show, very informative show, and I really wanted to highlight that part of the business aspects of the sport, because a lot of the young, you know, it's all about education and it's all about knowledge, you know, and the right knowledge. And I think because I've been there from the start with this whole journey, you know, with Devin, and I've never really spoken it. Let's get that right. Nobody really heard me speak on them.
No,
you know, but I think,
you've mentioned quite a few times on the show still.
Okay, but I mean, really, to go in depth.
Not in depth.
No, I never have, and I think the time is right.
I heard things today that you haven't even told me. I thought you told me more stuff, and you ain't even telling me the full 100. But
yes.
But I like the fact how, you know what I mean, Bill reached out to you after when Yard came runner up, and like Bill reached out to you, and I commend him for that. You know what I mean? Because what was it? What did Audley Harrison call David Hay? A fair weather friend.
Fair weather friend. I remember that.
That. Yeah, he's a fair weather friend. I don't know if he is, but to them two on their relationship, fair weather friend. And we get people who are around when you're up. You know what I mean? And if something was to go remotely wrong, then you don't hear from them.
Can I just say, sorry, Jamie E, Professional Boxing Academy, thank you for the $4.99. He says, top work, Tunde and Spence. Love what you're doing. Really good to see a man that believed in me from the start of doing great things. Now, the reason why I'm saying this particular shout out is because this young man.
Because he paid $4.99?
No, not just because he paid $4.99. but you know, Jay's one of the young cats that came all the way down from Manchester. I invited him down, and I've supported and followed his journey from the start. And he's someone that you're gonna hear from regardless, because he's got the passion, he's got the drive, and it's just unfortunate that he's over in the north and I'm down in the south, because we would definitely be working together. And watch out for this young man. And I keep telling him, everybody has their time. You know, you reap what you sow, and just keep working, Jay. It's gonna come. But thank you for the donation, and I'm gonna keep believing in you just the way, you know, people have believed in me. Oh, Spencer and Anthony and Bill Haney have believed in me, 100%.
Yep. Stamina for Sale, our channel is saying, make sure you subscribe, people. We are on a journey for 10K subscribers.
Yes.
With producer Gary Blake, right?
Yes.
And it's the truth. But the way the thing's moving, we're up there soon. I'll get another month, 2 months, we'll be up there. Got no doubt in that. It's moving rapid. And the thing is this also, is like, it's kind of cool, like when people holler Tunde asking for me, because people know you just can't holler me anymore. In the old days, I used to be actually everybody. Now the big Bill Haney is hollering Tunde to say, talk to me about Spence, because America's calling my name regular these days, especially.
Yeah, I remember. That's what he said it. I've been telling Bill about you for years, because he said it. He said it. You know, when you know, because it's energy. Everything's energy. And you know, myself, we spoke about when we was in the van going to 50 Cent's gym. And you know me, once I put my hand like this, you know, that's a serious thing that's going on in my mind.
You start thinking, you start working
I'm thinking, and Bill was like, I know what you're thinking. You know, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, how these motherfuckers getting this money? You get what I'm saying? Because
simple as that.
We ain't hating on nobody. We want to know how you done it. So we can work hard to do the same thing, because that's the only way it's gonna happen. Because you ain't all this bringing business. You can't bring in no one. You got to follow the same path, have the same highs and the same lows that everyone goes through to get to a particular point. So the fact that he recognized that all three of us, and even before he met you, Spencer, or spoke to you, because I believe this is the first time he's actually
first time
we spoke to him. I
said hello to him. Mickey Bay FaceTime me one time.
Yes.
While he was in the gym, he said, "I'm just about to do some work," and they said hello to Dev. I said, "Big up Dev, bro." And then like Bill was doing his thing, so it's like, and it is what it is. But yeah, Steve Bailey says Tunde shocked Spencer. Anyway, we just got thrown up. I'm sorry, we're gonna come back to you, but all right, as we put it back on. Steve Bailey says Tunde shocked Spencer. You're doing amazing work on the channel. Let the haters hate, bruv. That's what we can do, because I ain't paying you no mind, right? You have a lot of low subscribers on this channel, and we support you both 100. And big up Gary behind the scenes too. And that is the truth, Roof. Big up yourself. Flick it, Matt McKenzie. Matt McKenzie's dropped some peas today, you know. Matt, I know you. Matt, hey, Mr. McKenzie, what do you do, brother? I want to know what you do, because you must be doing something. You do something. Right in the comment. I want to know what kind of work that you do, because we got to big you up. Right. I'm not going to lie, but I wasn't a fan of Tunde before, but this podcast had made me see a different side of him. I'm definitely a fan now. Wish you both more success. # love from Brooklyn. You see? Now, my good friend Daniel Kinahan, I'm not denying that, man, 100%. He always says, let the haters become lovers, and that's that. And that's what's happening. So, and this is a proof of it. So big up Matt McKenzie. Thank you very much. And
you know, sometimes, Matt, sometimes it's not what you hear, is what you know. And a lot of people don't really know me. The right people know me, who are on my same frequency and energy. And you know, that's the danger of social media. You know, social media to me has never been real. It's never been real. It's not real. You know, so
down the social media thing. So forget that one.
You know, it's never been real. So
happening. You understand?
People that are close to me, I'm happy that, you know, certain people have seen a different side to me, which I don't really like talking about. but it's one of the reasons why I'm confident in what I know about myself. So thank you for the donation again, Mac. And it's a show. It's called The Game of Life. It's all a game. You know, all of us go back to our families and we love one another. And we're just all playing a game. It's all a game because at the end of the day, we're all going to the grave. Dust is gonna get put on our bodies or our bones, and that's it. Everything keeps on moving, generation to generation to generation. So try to live your life the best way.
I'm like the musical Fame. I'm gonna live forever, bro. I don't know about you, but
yeah, spiritually you will.
Remember my name, Fame.
yeah.
But you know what you don't realize what you're singing, you know. Then you realize like, they're working juju in the thing, bro.
Come on. All Day Podcast says Tunde always supporting and showing love. Great guy and positive energy to surround yourself around. Great show. Much love. Big up. Hold tight. All Day Podcast. Kurt Campbell, you know the set. Come on. I'm a passionate guy, man. I love it. I love it. It's all a game to me. And that's why yesterday's show was a deep show as well. You know, because come on, Spence, touch on yesterday's show.
The show was big, bro.
Bro, it mashed me up. I couldn't even get up this morning.
Because you know how big the show was. Because usually when I do an IFL video, I get bare hate.
Yeah,
I get bare hate. The energy was so high, but I was tired at the time. I still done the interview, and whereas me and Tunde was going back and forth about the fight, when I broke down the Josh Kelly Avanesian fight so well on IFL that everyone was saying, what an incredible breakdown. But it's because I was just talking to you. So we feed off each other. So because I was just talking to you, and then Raz is my guy. So when Raz hollered and said, yeah, Spence, let's go, can we do something? I said, yeah, cool, man, of course we can.
White or Povetkin? I think on the way there, we'll go for another 4 minutes and round off at two hours, yeah?
Yeah, man. I've got Dylan White, and so has Tunde Ajyai. Yeah, I mean, Lady Shan, my sister from another mister. Editing caught the last of BILL. Yeah, I mean, sick and will reply. Lions, you know what time again? And Matt McKenzie is back again. Right. This is what I'm trying to say to you. Right, you're from New York City, right? So boom. I'm a hiring manager for a security firm in the NYC, right? A serial entrepreneur and a full-time supporter of the Stamina for Sale podcast. Much love and much love to you, my brother, another mother. This is what we're talking about. You see, you can start getting me hyped now because on the reels is this. It's like people get misconceptions because you can follow somebody on Instagram and all of a sudden you think you know them. Right?
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say? But this is real interaction. Hence why we're not here to say, oh yeah, send me this or that. No, I want to know what people do because you're one of our low subscribers, so therefore you're our family. This is how it goes. So you're lions in the camp as well. Straight. You know what I mean? So this is part of
we'll be hollering at you, Matt, when we come to NYC, you know the set, because we need security.
Yeah, for real. Have the security. Punch Drunk Boxing, $9.99. Big up from Harlem, NYC.
Yes.
It's an awesome show. Teofimo versus Haney can happen, but WBC shenanigans have devalued Haney's belt to the point where fighters are not desperate for Haney's title at 135. Very good point.
Exactly what they've done.
Yeah, very good point. But what I gotta say, Punch Drunk Boxing, you keep on doing your thing because you're Hispanic as well, brother. Because I watched your show the other day. You know what I mean? But bro, they're all these shows are all 9 hours, you know, Tim.
Wow.
9 hours.
Stamina. The real stamina.
Yeah. So I listen to bits and then I jump in, then I jump out because it's 9 hours. So I take out the best bits, bro.
Yes.
I'll keep on doing your thing as well because this is how it goes. The more people that talk boxing, right, is the more people going to realize that I am really the knowledge, right? The more people that talk boxing, is the more that they're going to realize, because I'm sick and tired of these people. Oh, yeah, he must have box rec right beside him and he must have to pull that one out. I'm saying these guys don't know nothing. Tunde's the one that reiterating to everyone that I come to Spencer's house, he's watching some old 1932 fight, sitting down, eating popcorn like he's watching Floyd. Right. So this is the truth. I just love the game. And that's the truth. And when we jump over here, I've got some little study to do right now because I holler Michael Spinks because he shared the tribute that we did to Leon Spinks. So I'm just waiting till after the funeral because I'm going to give Tunde the number for Michael Spinks so Tunde can arrange it because Michael Spinks is my hero. This is my favorite fighter. And like, I'm going to be real. If Michael Spinks comes on there, I'll cry, because I love that man, I ain't going to lie to you. I love Michael Spinks as a kid growing up.
Yes.
I cried the night of, was it June 26, 1988, 27th, 1988, when he fights Mike Tyson.
The knowledge.
Right. Tunde, I cried, Within 91 seconds, I cried. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? I'm not keeping it 100. I cried, bro.
And talking about crying, so what do you have? Someone said white against. Oh, you said it. I think I went to get my hat. Someone's asking why the hat. The hat it has been a staple for the last few shows, but I like my hat because it's got my, just in case I forget my name. It's the Ajyai hat. But yeah, we're going with Dylan. What do you think about the fight being now put into Gibraltar? And does that again harper or change Dylan's? It's like, well, what's the matter with these people? Like they don't, they don't want to fight Dylan. Then they fight. Then they pull out the fight. Then they make a date. Then they change the date. Then they move countries. Bro, this guy can't get a break.
Who?
Dylan.
No. Dylan wanted in Gibraltar, or he wanted where he could get a crowd, so he could have a little bit of a crowd there. And I think because that's not in a red zone, it's gonna be they're gonna.
Yeah, but there ain't no man from Brixton and Peckham going to Gibraltar. No one ain't doing that.
Tunde, man's gonna go out there because I've got guys on me now, and it's like, what have I got? I've got the 12th. I've got the 12th of March and the 19th of March, where I'm doing 2 of the MTK Global shows. And then, we got to go out there, bro. It's as simple as that. We got to go out there.
So what? You can fly there? We can fly there?
Yeah, we can fly there.
I sort that out then. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm on it. We got to go support them. Trust me.
I got some trainers for deals as well.
Alan Skill says, you can tell Spence knows his shit because he looks up when thinking, not reading it unless it's on the ceiling. Brother, I can show you my ceiling as well. There ain't nothing written on my ceiling. So, that's how I think. I go and I remember the days. People don't get this. When you've grown up in something, this is like when you see when I was at school too. I'd go to school with boxing magazines, and my teachers never used to say nothing. They say, "Yeah, get on with it." They don't. My teachers, because they knew I was a good kid, they're like, "Hey, do your thing." Anyone else will be on you to do.
Was the food man then paid off the teachers then?
Yes, right. Lifestyle boxing. What are you saying, Spence? Yeah, you come on. Is known as the knowledge in England. Bro, I don't need to tell people that I'm known as the knowledge. We touched on that already on The Fight Is Right, man. Tunde Ajyai asked the man who christened me with that name, and that was Kugan Cassius, right? So I don't really need to get into that. When people who calls himself blah, I didn't call myself anything, but it just stuck, and that's the truth. Sorry, Joe Farmer. He's got a question for Tunde. Tunde, please ask Spencer for his glasses. I think they are wicked. You know what? My missus got these for me, so it's like.
Where should buy them from, Spence?
Christmas. She bought these about 2 years ago for me, And it's like everyone like, I got bare glasses now. I've got about 30 pairs of glasses, but my missus got a bag of glasses. They just line up upon line up upon line up of glasses. But it's, you know what I mean?
I'll just read that. Rav86. Did you guys watch Eubanks on Piers Morgan show? Michael Watson would be good to have on the show.
You know what? I could get Michael Watson quite easy. I know Michael very, very well. And I also remember, what was it? September 21st, 1991, his fight with Chris Eubank, the second fight, the rematch, when he gets injured in the, he gets stopped in the 12th and final round after knocking down Chris Eubank. Incredible fight. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, just by talking about it, we'll be talking about that fight more for what an exciting fight that fight was, instead of the fact of what happened after the fight if he didn't get injured, because that is an absolutely wicked fight. Matter of fact, I'm going to watch that fight. I'm going to watch that fight now. I had some Michael Spinks to go watch. Michael Spinks versus Stephen Tankstead was his first and only IBF World title, second title defense. His first title defense was against Larry Holmes, who he previously beat in 1985, and then he beats him again in 1986. But then he fights a guy called Stephen Tankstead, who was the European champion at the time, and he knocks him out. I think it's like 4 or 5 rounds. But a young Mike Tyson was on the undercard. And there was more people that came to watch the show to watch Mike Tyson than Michael Spinks, who at the time was the reigning IBF champion. And that was the kind of magnetism that Mike Tyson had as a little boy. Them times there, Mike Tyson was 19 years old. He was 18, turning 19 years old.
Okay, so next week, let's move on to the 27th of February. Carl Frampton's fight, anticipated fight against Jamal Hearn has been postponed, called off. The show still goes on. And then we have the king of boxing right now, undoubtedly, Canelo Alvarez. And we will definitely be doing the watch along for that.
Come on, 100% is on the zone.
So the people get ready for an exciting watch along. I don't know how long this fight is going to last. It might be a quick one, because I can't see what right this man has to be in the ring with Canelo Alvarez when this man got broke up by Chris Eubanks Jr. Come on, man.
The argument is the same. Well, he's the number one contender and he doesn't want to get stripped. But Canelo is bigger than belts.
Long way, come on, man. Well then, listen. You're saying number one contender. So why isn't Garcia, his stablemate, fighting Devin?
Exactly.
But it's nonsense.
Come on,
it's nonsense. But the fight is going to be a quick fight for Canelo. The fight is going to go how Canelo wants it to go. And then, please, the boxing gods, let's get BJS in the building if he can keep himself out of trouble. Let's get that.
You know what? Let's try and get Billy Joe Saunders next on, yeah? Simple.
Yeah, Billy's our man. Billy has to come on this thing, man.
I forgot about, it's coming. We spoke today because I was arguing with some man online.
Yes.
Billy, and then Billy says, Spence, you always got my back. But I said, cool, man. It's one of them things, man. No Billy from
Billy's a true guy. He always talks the thing. Please, we got to put, Gary, you got one of them, the 18 signs, because, Billy's no cap. Billy he just talks. He don't give a shit. He will just talk any business. So please, we got to get one of them 18 signs. Because when you get Billy Joe Saunders on talking, he's just reckless. Billy don't care. But boy, can that boy fight? And as my man Spencer Fearon said, he's got better footwork than Michael Jackson. Yeah. I heard someone say,
I got that line from you,
For real, I didn't say that, didn't I?
But you never said on our live team. You were saying at the time when he fought the brother and the guy clapped him or wobbling him. And always stuck in my head. You said, "Bro, Billy Joe, I remember you fought me because you were at the fight. You and Anthony was at the fight." He said, "Billy Joe's got better footwork than Michael Jackson."
Yeah, trust me. He has. I don't care what anyone tells me. He was moving like he was doing the moonwalk after he got clapped.
You know what? It's a mad one. Like today, because of that, they use it as the captain on behind the gloves, behind the ropes. Behind the gloves, sorry. I was watching old Michael Jackson on YouTube. Michael Jackson was really bad for real. He was bad,
Trust me.
Michael Jackson. They don't build man like Michael Jackson and Prince. They're both born on the same day. They share the same.
Yeah.
They don't build man like that again.
And it's so funny. As soon as they started talking the truth, their lives ended.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Really weird. Because Radio Raheem got me to meet Dave Chappelle.
Hold on there. 100% we're getting Errol because Errol's my man. I'm gonna phone up Errol and tell him to come on the team.
I got his number.
Yeah. Well, I leave that to you, and because I don't want no headache again.
Nah. I'll give you the number. You get all of him, yeah.
Yeah, Errol's our man. Errol's our man. Yeah, we listen, man. We got the black book, and we can get a lot of people on because people respect the knowledge, 100%, and few people know me as well. So,
people know you. They know you as a coach.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, all-day podcast. What's this? I'm Killmonger in between. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you
and Tunde and Spence. Much love. Yeah, big up yourself, bruv. Yeah, I mean,
Spence.
Listen, what's happening? Don't worry about that. You're saying get Kell Brook on. No disrespect, yeah, but we don't need no chocolate brownies on there right now. But we might get him on.
What is Kell? I thought you said Kell Brook's closing out now.
Right now. But Amir Khan called him out, innit? We're saying like, yeah, we should fight.
They should have had that fight both before they both fought Terence Crawford.
Of course.
That's when I said they should fight. That should have been their signing off fight. But we know how boxing is. There's always one more fight you can do. And that's when you start messing with a man's health.
Yeah.
Kell Brook has been a good ambassador for himself and for British boxing. Come on, man. He gambled. He took big risks fighting Golovkin and Spence. And then you take probably the biggest risk after being damaged by those two guys and fighting Terence Crawford.
Damaged him, Tun. I'm just going to be with you. Golovkin damaged him.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That fight was damaged, but then you get damaged again by Errol.
Yeah. You
understand? And then you fight bloody Crawford, who a lot of people don't realize how strong that guy is.
Man's a strong beast.
He's a strong killer, But Kell has done himself proud. He's got nothing to be ashamed of him. But it'd be good to have him as a guest on because, a lot of people...
Yeah. I'll holler him tomorrow. I'll phone him tomorrow and see what I'll go on still.
What was that? Matt McKenzie said commenting the cut off Spence when he was about to tell us about meeting Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, because Tunde chats too much with his little shiny black face.
I did.
He did actually, but don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle broke down. Dave Chappelle is a very, very intellectual human being. That's why his comedy can veer off in the way that it does. And Dave Chappelle, like when Dave Chappelle came over, me and my missus, we went to go and see him. Radio Raheem was close to Dave Chappelle. I remember like Radio Raheem with them times like Sky said, "Oh man, I want to come on toe to toe." I said, "Don't worry, man. Next time you're in, I'll get that sorted out for you." And he came over for the Kell Brook Golovkin fight. So he did a gig up in Brixton. He smashed it to bits. But how Dave Chappelle was moving, when you come in there, they take your phone away from you. You have to put it in a case. No phones. They saw a phone with you, like you get sued. You have to sign a disclaimer. So we go in and like, Radio said, no, here's your seats. Give me some wicked seats as well. He said, no, you're coming with me. So he took me and my missus up to Dave Chappelle's changing room where we was in there getting food and everything else. And Dave Chappelle said, like, who are you? I said, I'm Spencer. He goes, oh, you're the guy who does the podcast where you're right, telling me about you. And then he was just talking to a group of us because then Prince just died. And he broke down everything, really into the conspiracy theory or the theories of what we know is not conspiracy. And he just broke down the whole thing. And he was there, he was speaking about Michael Jackson and blah. And deep guy. And like, I was like, wow, Dave Chappelle's just a cool brother. And then I got to be with him at the fight. So me and was at the fights together. And it was just a very funny guy. Dave Chappelle was a very...
Yeah, you know what? You want to Anthony's great experience. He told me that he met Dave Chappelle and Dave Chappelle asked Anthony for a picture. And he said, "Bro, the guy is such a humble human being."
Yeah, but people don't know, he's a big boxing fan, you know.
Massive boxing fan. He said, "Yeah, man." Dave Chappelle said, "I've watched all your fights, and great." And he's got a massive fan base in America.
Yeah, see,
a massive fan base in America.
Of course he has, because he got
that, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that look as well.
Trust me.
He looks like a stockier version of D'Angelo.
yeah. You might be right.
Look, the hairstyle, everything I'm telling you. I remember when we was in, this was what? 2014. when we was all out in Vegas, and me and Auntie was by the pool, yeah. The amount of girls that came up.
Why you say this? What you saying?
The amount of girls who was just looking at his muscles and like, oh man, can we just touch your arms and stuff? And I was telling one, look, this is my son. I said, Auntie's dad. I said, look, this is my son. Touch the arm. I must have been about $2,000 that day, Tunde.
Andy's he's a serious guy, man. A got energy and a great human being, man. Yeah, it's been a good one, Spence. You know, me and you could go on for days, but
for real. Hey, well, I'm gonna say this straight standard. I'm saying it on the show, we can use it. Bun Lennox Lewis, bun Nassim Hamed as well. Right? Straight, right?
Why are you saying that?
I've just said it again. Rap star.
Nas is kind of dissed though a few times. No, I don't respect.
No. Bun Nassim Hamed. I'm telling you straight. Bun
a few times.
And Bun Lennox Lewis, and they're both my friends, and I can phone them up right now and I could get them. But I'm saying, bun them guys right this second. Watch this. Just to show these people how this thing really, really works.
Come on, the black book.
The black book's too powerful, man.
Come on.
Right? Our phone, if we get, because I think he's in Dubai, you know. I believe he's in Dubai.
Lennox?
No, Nazim Ahmed. I think, yeah, he's in Dubai. He's in Dubai.
Let's try and get Lennox.
All right, watch this.
Live on The Fight Is Right. This is how we move.
He's most probably watching it right now. And yo, bro, none of it answering the phone right now. And rare. And the.
Come on.
If we get him. So as we can see, the great man.
He knows it's you, man. He knows.
He knows. He must really
watch it.
The little sneaky man. Well, ball him anyway. and that's how I roll it. You know what I mean?
Call Dylan White. Let's call Dylan.
Nah, Dylan's big. It's late. Remember, he's in Portugal now.
Well, we'll ring Dylan right now, yes, sir.
Nah, leave him, man. Man, have a big fight because I trip by you know.
Yeah. I don't want Dylan to come cuss me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam Jones had another good result last night.
He did have a good result. Fair play to
him. There's actually some few topics we could discuss that we could go into about yesterday's show.
You know what? I think we should get Marku, yeah, and that Ghana boy. Yeah.
What Ghana boy? Oh, Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi.
Antwi.
Yeah, I think we should get them two on it.
But is that a fight he's calling for?
No.
You know what that's called.
We should just
To me, he's got his sats on
Conor Ben.
Yeah.
He could have his sats on Conor Ben all he wants. But Sam Antwi, I like the youth. Good fighter.
Just
strong. And him, when we're talking about fun fights, there's certain fights that be a fun fight. That would be a fun fight.
This is a good question. Tunde, what do you think about AB? Wasted talent. You know, I was having a discussion about this today with someone. And you know, we seem to forget what AB has produced at such a young age. You know, you think about it. You have De La Hoya. Remember, AB's in this list. De La Hoya, I don't know, 6-weight or 5-weight champion. Or Floyd.
5-weight.
Floyd. And Pacquiao.
8-weight.
And Broner. So Broner's in that list.
Tunde, you forgot Sugar Leonard, who's the first 5-weight world champion.
I'm talking about the current ones that we know in this era.
Yeah.
Broner's in that list. I mean, he was one of the youngest ever champions.
He was the youngest ever and it's crazy how we're talking about a man who's a 4-weight world champion and call him an underachiever. That's nuts.
Mad. And I just, as I was saying to the person today, I just think that when you reach those heights, having that kind of money, looking after so many people that you come up with, you know, once the spark goes, it's very difficult to get that back because you've got so many people that you got to cater for now. And I mean, I love the way he's still bringing in Robert Easter Jr.,
He's bringing
Rashid Warren. Like, the guy's a serious guy, man. He's done that. And
you know, I think when you're young, you're open to make mistakes and all the rest of it. But I think deep down inside, Adrian Broner's actually got a good heart.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right, he's sold on to this madness, and I get it, and all the rest of it, and there's fuss about him. But the sad thing for me is I've seen him fight a few times. I remember when he won the world lightweight title, and the skills that he demonstrated in there, I just thought we're looking at a superstar. But then I think that his lack of discipline, his disregard for things, and he's living that high life. But I just like to see him buckle down and just do something, because I think he's still got years in the sport, and
it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. The only way it's gonna come back if he has the activity that will keep him training, keep him in the spotlight. You can't give that brother 6 months off.
No way.
Forget that. Yes, other than that, it's going to be the same. You're going to be watching him, and you're going to be getting so frustrated because you know there's so much talent there. But the inactivity, people again, when they talk about Floyd, you may see Floyd in the club, but know for sure he's training. He might even be running from the club.
Bruv, Nermal Lorick, who used to train Louis Collazo, the former WBA welterweight champion, said Floyd, he was in a club with Floyd. Yeah? And Floyd would put his trainers on. He's in his gums, put his trainers and run home. Tell the man to just drive at the Maybach. He just run home. So yes, that's the difference of Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, he actually done that in my presence.
Okay.
He actually done that. We went gym, went to some little club thing. Then him and Otu ran. The cars was behind them and they run.
Right.
So I seen that from my own eyes.
Okay.
You know, and that's the difference. That's the difference. And Bobby Wright said, I don't think he reached his full potential. Again, you know, you got to think about what Spencer said. It's mad how we can be saying that when a guy is a 4-weight world champion.
4-weight world champion.
He absolutely reached his full potential. Could he have done more? Probably he could have done more, but, you know, it's levels there. And as I said, when you're talking about multiple weight champions, you're talking about a Ray Leonard, you know, a Pacquiao, a Floyd, or Oscar. And you can't deny it. Broner's up there with that.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you know, and now you're talking about Terence Crawford and these guys following that. Joe Farmer says Tunde, is Conor Ben being pushed too soon? Danger end up like Warren and Josh. And I would answer that by saying he ain't gonna be rushed. And if he is, then it's obvious people are not learning from history. Because I wouldn't say Warren was rushed because he was a world champion. He beaten 3 good fighters in Frampton, Selby, and who's that one he beat? Frampton, Selby, Josh Warren beat, and Kid Galahad. Yeah. Yeah, he beat Kid Galahad. So he's a bona fide world champion. What is with Josh, what is with Conor, they don't want to make the same mistake like Josh Kelly. And they're not making that mistake because
what was the mistake that Josh Kelly made?
He never had the experience. He only had 10 fights, Spence. 11 fights. You're going in with a beast of a guy, 26, 27 fights, who you know is a mad puncher who got a draw against a guy that you got a draw against. So I can't see, and I was going through this guy's resume today. He actually stopped a dangerous fighter as well before that. This Ananisian guy, he's a dangerous fighter, and I'm now learning that it's common knowledge that Josh Kelly can't do the rounds.
Listen, Adam Booth wanted to move it from a 12-rounder to a 10-rounder.
I didn't know this.
Adam Booth was a man who said, listen, there's no microphone. You're not micing me.
Yeah, again, why is that then? Why? Why you got no microphone? Why must I get microphone and you don't get no microphone? Next time, BT Sports. No, wait.
I say I can't get away at the jab. Lines in the cap.
BT Sports, from now, you ain't putting no microphone in me. I don't want no microphone in the corner. Because if one man can do it, why can't I do it? And then I'm open up to all criticism and people lying I said things when I never. But you know, I know
because there's a microphone on you.
yeah, but they choose what they want to put on or what they want you to hear.
Lions in the camp, bro.
Lions in the camp all day. But yeah, you know, it wasn't a good night for two high profile fighters, but it's part of the sport. You know, it's highs and lows. You know, people were saying about Dominic telling a man to stay southpaw when he's not a southpaw. But that's the
Dominic try to drink the water through the visor.
Yeah, that's funny. Dominic Ingle, he tried to drink the water with a vase thing on his mouth. It's a dumb. I'm gonna have to message Don over that. That was jokes. But yeah, all in all, it's been a great weekend, Spence. Listen, we said we was gonna have done that 2 hours. We've gone on for a further 25 minutes now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Such is our passion for the sport. But yeah, we'll hook up again.
Yeah, definitely. This week, let's try and get Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
On the hot table. With quite a few people said Kel broke this one, that. We'll get someone. We'll get someone good anyway. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And in the build up for the fight.
Canelo.
Yeah, for the Canelo fight.
Yes.
I mean, maybe I can even holler Austin Trout, you know?
Austin Trout. Okay.
Yeah, for Canelo, so yeah.
I just can't see this fight going past 3 rounds. If this fight go past 3 rounds, then something's wrong. Because there's no need for that man to be in there longer than 3 rounds. Just like the last guy Golovkin fought. I don't know what Golovkin was doing, messing about with this guy. You should just took him out easy.
Yep.
ASAP runs to Tunde. I did ask, did that hairline come in a bottle? Bro, Spencer took me to his barber, his secret barber yesterday. Fam, the sharpness of the hairline is still unbelievable. Man's saying I got a toupee on. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, come on. Ryan Rose would be good. Hey, Ryan Rose. Bobby Wright said Ryan Rose would be good. Muhammad Ahmed said, "Hey Spence, will Eubanks Jr. ever be a world champion? Not including the IBO."
Possibly. He's now with the Sauerlands. What's the guy called? Nukoi, the Japanese guy who is the regular champion, and Eubank is #1 challenger because he's also the WBA interim champion at middleweight. So I think that, I believe that Eubank will. Titles are fragmented now. I believe that Eubank, especially with his work rate, he's got ridiculous work rate. I've got to give him that. I think that, and he's come off James DeGale. The madness is the James DeGale win is going to be 2 years.
Crazy.
And you had one fight in that time.
Crazy. You might be doing a Floyd thing, like fight once a year or once every year.
Yeah. You can't do a Floyd thing because Floyd makes 70 million a fight.
Yeah, that's facts.
Right. So Floyd can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Facts. So yeah. But now he's with the Sauerlands. Hopefully something can happen. Hey, what? The Sauerland brothers would be good to get on, you know?
Yeah, Niche is a cool guy.
Look at this.
Both brothers are cool guys.
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Cole.
Yo, Lennox Lewis, you're taking liberties, you know. How many times have I begged you to come on the show? You just disrespect me. Big man.
Lennox knows. He knows Lennox is too educated. Once you talk to him, like, he knows you're alive now.
Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with this boy?
It's the realness.
But yeah, so that'd be good, man. That'd be good.
So what? That was Lennox right there.
Yeah, it was like this.
You're a joker.
That was Lennox, though. That was Lennox.
I'm putting my baby back to bed. Blessing uncles. Thought I'd stop by, say good evening, everyone. Hold tight. I am local Lou. Come on. Yeah, hot video. He hanged up. He knows, bro. He knows Spencer too well. He's like, this bloody hell, man. This man, he got me on live.
Yeah.
He knows Spencer too well.
He knows me too well, sir. But it is what it is.
Congratulations to Oscar Valdez last night. Massive knockout. Massive knockout. Probably one of the knockouts of the year. Great win for them. And the Eddie Reynoso Road Show continues. He upset Robbie Davis Jr. last night because that was one of Eddie Reynoso's boys as well. You know that, innit, Spence?
Listen, stop Mexican man from coming to the UK.
They're too hungry. They're too hungry because this lockdown thing is good for them because nothing don't change. Whereas the guys that's, I wouldn't say given stuff, but really have a more comfortable way of doing things are really coming up against guys that. Mohammed Ahmed said, Tunde, could you guys bring Amir Khan on the show? I'm sure we can sort that out. Amir's a cool guy. He's very busy, seems. But Amir's another guy that we know. Sometimes these guys get too big, but they don't realize you're not bigger than the big man upstairs. So you have to be humble. You have to be humble. And when people pay their dues, like Spencer and myself have, you have to jump on and respect the thing. Adam School said, had my son sitting with me watching Sugar Ray Leonard during fights this morning. He's only 9 years with autism.
What was that, the first fight? The June 1980 fight, the first fight, yeah?
Yeah, but he said Sugar Ray Leonard is a beast. Big up, Adam Skill. Right, Spence, come on.
Yeah, man, I'm going to my bed.
Let's knock off now, my man. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Been a great show. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And we end off by, you know, what we say and how we do it. Dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down.
Come on down. Yes, sir. Good night. God bless.